light. The moment of truth. Wonderful. It looks like it's working. So I first want to say sorry to anybody that tried to stop by this morning and watch me do the drawing of the back side of Gosetsu. It seems that for some reason the internet output from AT&T, and I'm guessing the city and how many people were using it, it wasn't working, even when I switched to a different camera. So it looks like things are running smoothly now. I did a bunch of tests, but with that being said, I am going to show you the stuff that I showed this morning that nobody saw. So yesterday I went over Gosetsu Everfall's front. This is the cosplay character that I am going to be presenting at Youmacon's costume contest this November. It's Gosetsu Everfall. He's the samurai from Doma, Final Fantasy XIV Online. So the front, if you tuned in yesterday, I just sketched it. I had a bunch of references out and I just sketched the front. When I was done streaming and after dinner, I went back through and I use Micron archival ink markers. You get a lot of detail from them. And I went over all those sketch lines that you saw me draw with pen. And so here is our finished product. And I'm sure you'll be able to see it, or you couldn't this morning. Huh. So a lot of people yesterday asked me if I always do sketches. I do. This is just a peace of mind for myself. It is how I am able to work out all of the different pieces that a costume may entail. So you can see here that I've broken down his shoulder pieces. Both the right and the left are different. However, the arm pieces are the same. I've done zoom in of his arm and hand armor. So I have them drawn here and then just blown up here. The belt, a bunch of balls. They look like they're touching each other in the reference image, but I know that by drawing them out, there is a gap in between, and I just actually figured it out while watching some Netflix how I'm going to make these balls, and I'm going to keep that a secret until I'll keep it a secret, that way you have to watch my build stream or recorded video to see how I'm going to do that. I've got the brooch here, so it's all drawn, and there's my little kitty. So this morning, I went through and I sketched out the back of him. Unfortunately, we were having streaming issues and I was unable, sorry, I'm just going to discard of this binder. I was unable to show you what I was drawing, so it was kind of just like I was drawing to an audience of myself, which sounds quite pathetic. Okay, so I'm going to just scoot this over to the side and show you what I've done this morning. I just sketched it out, so everything's sketched out from the back of his head to his hair. I initially said yesterday I wasn't going to do facial hair, but I think I'm going to do some very stylish, I don't want to call them mutton chops, but some really stylish sideburns for him, just because I've never done facial hair, and why not? Why not if you can? I've got the back of the big difference between the back and the front is his almost cape shawl. That is full in the back, it's not split. So I've got the zoomed in back in the upper corner. There's some flames going on. It is symmetrical on both sides. There is an emblem up by the base of the collar. There's a difference between the front of him and the back of him when it comes to that cape. The gold trim around the front, as soon as it gets to the seam over the shoulders, it switches into the uplift of a collar. And so I will show you guys in my pattern making later on how I'll go about that. I've zoomed in on the pattern, so for his sash or scarf, it's not a true obi. It doesn't sit higher on the waist. it has this really cool 6-point, it's like a 12.6, I don't know, it's got 12 different 12 triangles making up 6 diamonds making up 1 star. And that pattern is just redundantly strung throughout his sash, waist belt. I'm going to embroider it again in silver and green on his forest green. Then the other pattern that I've drawn here at the bottom is just the pattern on the bottom of the hem of his pants. So what I'm going to stream to you guys today is I'm just going to go over it all, because there's a big difference in refining that happens from pencil to, you know, ink and erasing all the pencil marks afterwards. So I know that there's a lot of stuff you can't see on my drawing with the camera because it is so lightly drawn, and the reason is I erase everything after I've finished with pen over top. I choose a waterproof pen, that way if I want to go back in with watercolor paints later, that is an option. You never want to restrict yourself from what you could possibly want to do with a picture later on. My favorite micron is the 005. However, this is more of a detail, so I've been using this one when I go back into his ropes to draw the cross hatching. So for most of this, I'm going to use a 02. And I start with things that are on top, and I work my way down. I don't want to start drawing or going over his cape when I know that the knot rope is on top of it, because if I draw a line too far and it goes into the knot rope, then that's an error. At least in my world it is. Yeah, here we go. Feel free to ask me questions as you're watching. You can ask me questions regarding Gosetsu, like if I'm pronouncing his name completely and totally wrong. You can ask me questions about other cosplay builds I've done. Yeah, anything you'd like, for the most part. For the most part. Again, I cannot apologize enough for how horrible this morning's stream was. I thought for sure that by changing my webcam, because my webcam wasn't working on this laptop here, so I switched to a Canon EOS camera, which had great quality, but I don't know if it just added another negative to what was already happening. It didn't fix the problem. So, how are we going to do this? So I'm trying to pay attention to the twists and what parts of the rope should be overlapping each other and what parts of this rope knot are not. Okay. Sometimes when I go back through and I start outlining these, I'll add in little pieces of detail that I think are okay to be done with a 02 pen. A lot of times I'll wait and just go back into them with the 005. Maybe one day I will show you guys the portfolio book I have. Every costume I've even thought of doing, I've done one of these elaborate drawings for. There are many costumes within the portfolio that have not been brought to life yet. And some of them may never be brought to life. That's just how the cosplay life works. So many ideas, so little time. I keep looking over at my reference image just to make sure that I'm following along and not just making something up. I'm not sure if you can hear the train passing in the back. City life. So noisy. So noisy. So I'm just lightly drawing the flames that curl up his back underneath the rope. Can't really see it that great. The flames, that is. That's why, though, I've got the big close-up drawing over here. His hair is kind of like an upward flip ponytail. That's going to make for some awesome wig styling. Fremmy's Speed Draw was my first real wig styling. For the satyr I made dreads, but I don't know if you can qualify that to be the same. You can actually see it behind me, just, oops, wrong way, just right there. These guys here are the dreads at the bottom of the wig. The hat's brought up high here because I've tipped it down low in the front. So if something's a circle and the front of it's brought down low, the back will be brought up high. actually looking forward to sewing all of these flames on to this overcape shoulder armor piece. If anybody knows the real name of what this is, just let me know. These will probably be done in appliques that'll get machine stitched, embroidered. Yeah. I do some cross hatching here to show that there is another side, that there's an inside to it. You can kind of see I did them here as well. I'm showing that there is something on the other side of that. It's not just a flat 2D. As I travel down, I try to finish things. That way I'm not just smearing my hand all around. So now my fun part, I've grabbed the 005 pan, and I'm going to go back into the rope and just do some random cross hatching. These sketches are not artistically correct. They're not up to snuff regarding shadows and light sources. They're merely something fun that I put together to help me out when putting together my costumes. Like as of right now, I'm putting the cross hatching all on top. It should be on the bottom. That's not where I want it. Giving the rope some texture. The more and more I work on him and his drawing, the more excited I am to gender bend Gosetsu. Going back to the 02 pen, I'm going to continue down into the shoulders. Pardon me as I itch my nose. Because with the front of Gosetsu, I drew it so that we could see the full arm, the full front of his arm. That means that on the back side, you're going to be able to see the back side of his shirt edges. So instead of drawing both sides of the arms, I'm drawing both sides of the shirt backing. I say draw, I mean kind of scribble. And just like with the front, he's got almost a white undershirt or tie. I'm sure it's the white tie to the top of his pants that we're seeing over his belt sash. Yeah, so far so good. Not the 05, but the 005. I really have to say, it's crazy. The end of the pen is so fine, but the 005. It's the go-to pen for detail. Oh, hey, mocaps. Good to see you by. Stopping on by. So I don't need to draw the pattern on his sash because next to it I've enlarged the pattern that's going to be embroidered and or should be drawn onto him. So we don't need to do that. More tassels though. This gentleman does not have enough tassels on his outfit. And I almost grabbed the 05. So here's, I can show you the big difference. I've got an 05 and a 005. I'm not sure if you can see the difference on the page. You can see the actual tip to the 05, and you really can't see it to the 005. I almost grabbed the wrong one. Oops. At least it's noticeable. And I'm going to jump instead of doing the hands. I'm going to do the pants. That way the pants cut across the hands, because again the hands here in the front came in front of his pants, so I'm making sure that the hands go behind the pants in this drawing. Oh, I see what happened there. As I'm drawing these lines on the pants, these are actually going to be the pleats in these pants, the samurai style pants that we've got going on here. Lots of ironing, nice, crisp, clean ironing. For costumes like this that have very large chunks of fabric, like his pants, ironing makes a world of a difference. If you're ever going into a competition for cosplay, I judged some, so the biggest thing, judges will notice if you don't iron your costumes. I mean, obviously, if you're doing a fox fur pants, you can't iron fake fur. But if you have large iron your costumes, that nice pressed hems and edges and seams, oh, they look thousands times better when just pressed with an iron. And I hate ironing. So unlike the sash, the pants, the pattern that's on the pants is pretty easy. So I'm going to actually take the time yeah, it doesn't look so bad. Almost forgot. There we go. Do it up here. See, that wasn't so bad. Didn't take so long. I'm gonna do the feet now. An awesome part about this costume, no socks. Gosetsu wears his wooden clogs without socks on. So if you're just popping by, I'm currently working on Gosetsu from Final Fantasy XIV online. He's the samurai from Doma, the guy who saves people from the crumbling Doma castle. He's also the gentleman that's at the top of that city entrance when they pan for the trailer of Stormblood. Now I'm just going to trace out the circles that I used. For my side patterns. I like everything to look really neat. Might be one of my flaws. last pattern that I have yet to do is to trace over the star pattern. Gosh, it's such a pain in the butt. Okay. So again, sorry it's nothing too interesting. I'm just drawing out some design plans. Hopefully this weekend I'll be able to start on the mock-up of his pants and kimono. There are many patterns out there that you can use. However, I will be creating my own. There's just something about being able to say that you made everything. Not that if you use the pattern of somebody else's, you're not making it yourself, but I like knowing that it's 100% Disfusional. I need to find something new to watch on Netflix. I'm running out of things. Running out of options. Oh, and I almost forgot to do the bottoms of these. I'm not quite done. There's one thing. You'll notice I left a lot of space. I'm going to erase the side of my hand. I left a lot of space. I'm going to try to do this without making the camera rock. So this might turn into the slowest erasing of all time. I left a lot of space off to the right hand side of my page. And the reason why is I have plans for that side. These all go into my large portfolio. Some of them get finished with color, some of them will just stay like they are in black and white. Some of them will take a gray color palette to them, depending on what mood I'm in or how I want to finish them later. I put their names on each, not on both of them, but on the set. So since these guys, both the front and the back of Gosetsu, will be on a fold of itself, I'm going to put Gosetsu Everfall and then write where he's from, like Final Fantasy 14, Stormblood, on the page as well. I feel like it kind of completes it as a piece of art, because I mean, after all this time, this is kind of a project all on its own. And then I vacuum, so I'm just going to wipe this all off onto the floor. And that sound you heard was my cell phone, so pardon me for a second. Let's see. Alright. Now I need a ruler. My quilter's ruler. So we are going to figure some things out first. Scrap piece of paper. So there's 16 characters, including the space in between. I know, I probably have something wrong with me that I do this, but... We've got 15 inches, 16 characters. We're going to start it in half an inch. This way. Draw a line. Top. Kind of gives myself parameters to work in. Does disfusional mean anything? You're the first person in years to ask that. Yes and no. It derives from a word that means something to me, at least. And then it was created into a handle that no one else had. So I was a sorority sister, and then I was a fraternity sister slash like house mom for my 5th year in college, with a bunch of guys that were my BFFs. And a guy thing I guess to do is to give out nicknames. Pardon me. So because of my art degree, I have a BA in art and design with concentrational studies in painting and welding. My brother chose to give me the nickname Fusion, and so Fusion stuck through college, and in the years after college I tried to figure out what I wanted to name my studio, what was going to be catchy. The nicknames that were given to me in high school kind of came and left, but the Fusion one stuck. So if you type Fusion into Google, you get a copious amount of answers. However, if you type Disfusional into Google, it will auto-correct it to Disfusional. So you actually have to click Disfusional, and it's a made-up word. So that is the Pan's Labyrinth to all of my online fixings. So, yes and no. Part of it means something. The rest of it's just made-up nonsense that I knew nobody else would have online. So I can't, that ends up with 14. So now I'm evenly spacing out where I'm going to put the letters to his name. Again, this might be a little excessive. Well, thank you very much. I guess it's interesting that for me, I feel like I should have something more interesting after seeing everybody else's really cool cosplay names and their fun nicknames. But thank you very much for your kind words. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. Alright, so we're going to do a G. I'm just drawing boxes where I'm going to fill them with my letters. So to make sure that every single letter I draw for Gosetsu's name is evenly spaced and is the same size as all the other letters, I am drawing boxes in which I will draw my letters in. Excessive, maybe. However, I know that everything will come out even for the most part. Nothing's perfect. Something really cool with the T. Made it extend out past my text boxes. And then I'll just take my own cursive handwriting to throw at the bottom. So we're so close to being done with this mock-up, the drawing, and then costume construction. This is my favorite part, is constructing it all. Figuring it all out. It's like a large puzzle. So I've grabbed the 05, which has a significantly thicker tip, pen tip. Just trying to figure out how I want to tackle these letters. The names are always the last part that I do. Sometimes I may draw them out with the original, but they're always the last one. There. And with a little bit more erasing, we've finished our design plans. So 2 days. 2 days to put together our design plans. It's not bad. It's not bad timing. Keep looking over my shoulder because there's a really cute cat sleeping. So now I will lay them out side by side so that those viewing will be the first to see them both done. Actually, you guys are the first to see either side done. So if you've tuned in, thank you very much. And here they both are, side by side. Come here, Stitch. Oh, and here's my little baby. So, Stitch and I say thank you very much for watching me and do this build log. We will try to stream the next part. The next part is we're going to have to go over everything and figure out how much fabric we need of the different sections and to see pattern-wise what we want to do with them. So a lot of design before we go to Joann Fabrics and buy everything. So yay! We're done! If you want to check out any more of my artwork, or say hello to me on any of these social media platforms. You can see them just below in our video. If you want to send me a email in regards to commissions or possible work in the future, my email's down there as well. If not, I'm gonna say peace out, homies, and I'll see you next stream. Bye.